Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to cover primitive casting, or we call it converting. So when we talk about primitive casting, it can be done in two ways. What are those? One is widening and another one is narrowing. So when we talk about widening, you are actually trying to store the smaller data type into a bigger data type, and when you talk about the narrowing, based on the name, you are actually trying to store bigger data type in a smaller data type. And I want you to guys remember the data types in Java, which is byte, short, integer, long, float, and double, which you can actually store numbers. Okay, let's get started and create integer number equals 100, right? So we can store numbers in integer, and I'm going to try to actually store this number into a bigger data type. What is bigger than actually integer, which is long, right? So here I'm going to try say that I'm gonna make it long equals number. So as you guys see, the Java is not complaining here. Java is not complaining here because there is nothing wrong to store smaller data type into a bigger data type. Okay, let's print this out. And as we see, the result is 100, right? Result is 100. Okay, when I try to actually store this integer variable into a double, right? So if I create double and I call it dough, I call it, oh, I can call it dough. I can call it dough equals number, and what is gonna be the result in this case? So you are storing the regular number into a decimal number that you are supposed to actually, you can store regular number, but you can also store decimal number here. But I'm gonna print this out and see the result if it is gonna be decimal or the regular number. So as you guys see, if you guys are storing the integer number, which is not decimal, but the data type is actually accepting a decimal number, that the result is going to be always decimal. So in this case, this is Java is handling the widening itself. So if we take our notes here, Java is handling widening by itself. So I'm typing it here because when we talk about the narrowing, the Java is not going to actually handle it by itself. You have to handle it. So let's talk about it now. Integer number, let's say 1 equals again 100, but this time I'm going to try to store this in a of course in a smaller data type, because you are narrowing it. So it is coming from bigger than narrowing, right? Widening, you are small and you are making it bigger, but narrowing, you are bigger already and making it smaller. So the smaller data type is going to be here byte. So byte, if I say byte, we are saying byte to byte. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put parentheses and then type byte here, and then store the number 1 here. As you guys see, it is not complaining. But if you did it this way, byte b equals number 1, the Java is actually complaining right now because it is not handling by itself and telling you, hey, what are you trying to do here? What is your problem? The kind of thing, right? And it is telling you to actually, it is giving you a solution. What is the solution? Add the cast to byte, or change type of b to integer, or change type of number 1 to byte. So what can be done here, either this byte is going to be integer, or you have to put here cast like this, like I did here, right? Like I did here. Okay, so I'm going to print the by result as a result. So as you guys see, we are not losing anything, right? We are not losing any data. We are not going to lose any data. As you guys see here, when you do so in this case, of course you are not going to lose data, but if you put here 1000, then do you think that you are going to lose data? Do you think that you can store 1000 into a byte? No, you cannot store 1000 into a byte. As you guys see, we lost data. Why? Because if you create a byte variable and try to store so I'm gonna call it bike equals 1000. Do you think that you are going to be able to store it here? No. As I told you guys before, you can only store 3 numbers here. Okay, so that's the thing. And also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create double. I'm gonna create double and call it dough. And I mean, you cannot call it dough. Yeah, you can call it dough. And then I'm gonna give it a value. Okay, I think I created it before, and I'm gonna give it a name, another name. Okay, so since we are doing narrowing, so what is actually smaller than long? As you guys go up here, what is smaller than long? Integer or the short? Let's try to put it here short, right? So let's create a short and call it s, and then what do we have to do here? Java is not going to handle it. Then I'm going to create a parenthesis and then call this short, and then I'm gonna call the one here. Okay, so what are we doing here? Guys, we are storing bigger data type into a smaller data type. And do you guys think that what's gonna happen with the decimal? What is gonna happen with the decimal? Decimal is gonna lost, because always if you are storing some number into short is not a decimal integer, decimal data type, right? It is not accepting decimal, and the result is not going to be decimal. The result is gonna be a regular number, right? So today's video is all about that. We have talked about the primitive casting, and which can be done in the narrowing way, and also which can be done in the widening way. And the widening is happening by itself. Java is handling it. You don't have to do anything. And also you are not going to lose any data. But if you talk about narrowing, you have to do it, you have to handle it by yourself. Java is not handling it, and also you might lose that data. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you guys in the next video. Please, if you guys like the content of the video, make a comment, like the video, and subscribe, and I see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.